What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome to the week of Movie Mondays. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast, and we are back again talking all the week's movie news, entertainment news, and just generally having a bit of a chit-chat about everything to do with film. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Sean Mean. Sean, how's it going?
A week's worth of news. We actually have a week's worth of movie news to talk about.
We have at least one story, yes.
Good God. Well, I'm sure it's the one that's in the headline of the episode, let's be honest.
That's all we have. There was every single week in the quarantine because, nobody's going anywhere. Everything's come to a standstill. So every week I come into this episode thinking, fuck, there's going to be nothing. And I do a bit of research. Turns out Hollywood has just decided to keep going, just behind the scenes, and to just keep casting people and making plans, but obviously nothing's got into production just yet. But that doesn't mean everybody's stopped, thankfully.
In many ways, plans and speculation is the most ideal thing to talk about on a podcast. Because you can just go nuts with it. Rumours.
Yeah,
slander?
Rumours and accusations. I would even accept slander. I would accept slander as just a viable form of entertainment.
I'd love that if you was a newspaper editor. Just like, lads, at this point, I'd accept slander.
Right, look, do you know how much shit that I have to... I'm putting this show together, right? I'm trying to find news stories. But every week I find... Because all these news sites, they have to fill pages.
Yeah.
But there's nothing happens. So we get to choose, we get to pick 7 stories that we like. But they have to put out, 10 stories a day. Every day. And so it's just Blake Lively tweeted this. It's right, cool.
Yeah,
thanks.
What I'm getting a lot of is the fans rewatched Endgame and they found this shocking detail.
10 things you missed in this movie from 2016. Oh my God.
We've absolutely talked about those things that we supposedly missed.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. 10 things you missed in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. There are Guardians of the Galaxy.
Good God. Lads, they've done it.
So this is Movie Monday, Sean, and I also wanted to say, just before we get into it, that we've released our Patreon exclusive Pelp episode on Saturday. It was about, this month I should say, we covered The Phantom Menace, everybody's favourite Star Wars movie.
Universally loved.
I just wanted to get that out of the way. So if you're interested in listening to that, head over to our Patreon. It's $5 a month and you get exclusive episodes just every single month, a new review. So, Sean,
yes.
We are starting this week
with
a trailer. It's not often we have trailers because obviously everything's on hold. But there's one man that says, no, we're still bringing out trailers. That is Christopher Nolan, the man who does movies that he sometimes looks up his own hole and thinks, I'm great. But he's also really, really good. So
I don't know what your actual view on Christopher Nolan is now.
I think he's really, really good. But Interstellar kind of was lads,
it's a bit wanky,
It's a bit wank. But Christopher Nolan, his new movie is out. It's called Tenet. The trailer arrived, the second trailer I should say, on the 22nd of this month.
Yes.
Sean, we have watched it. I have notes. This trailer makes no sense. Where do you want to start?
This trailer literally makes no sense. And I don't know if it's because I don't remember the trailer for Inception. I don't remember how I felt watching that. But watching this, I was just I think I'm becoming an old man. Because I was just I'm never going to fucking follow this.
You're past your prime.
I think mentally, yes, surely.
Yeah.
But
oh, well, wait, you've had your prime mentally. We want to make that clear.
Oh, yeah, 13. That was when I was my funniest.
It's that year you were fucking winning quizzes all over the land.
I wasn't even allowed in the pub to do the pub quiz. I just kept winning. But it's first of all, I think it's a cool premise. But we're going to have the Inception style exposition dump of this is how it works. But it's simple enough.
At some stage in this movie, yes.
Yeah, and it's simple enough that you can understand it at a surface level, but complex enough that people will write articles about it and say 10
that
things
you get to
miss.
have that guy in college be like, you didn't get it.
No, yeah. Oh, it's a
You
mansplainer's
didn't get
dream,
it.
this movie.
This movie is, and we will not even begin to try to fucking explain it.
No,
But
the best, tone-wise, what I got was, it's a weird mix of Inception, Looper, and John Wick.
and James Bond,
And James Bond,
a
and
little bit.
possibly a bit of Bourne.
It's a spy organisation. See, normally with these trailers, right, is they release, say, the 3-minute trailer. Even Fast and Furious, any of the Marvel movies. I write down the notes of what I see in the trailer one by one, and so we can go through them, hit the points, the main points of the trailer. In this one, I just have question marks beside a lot of things. So I just have time travel, double question mark. Then I have spy organisation. Okay, that's explained. And we see John David Washington, who is an amazing actor. And I think he's going to be his big break, and I'm really excited for him. He was in Black Klansman as well, and he's great in that.
Oh, okay.
But he is in the spy organisation. You see him fighting, and then the lady, which I think is the exposition dump, says that they're doing this to prevent World War III. But I've no idea how that fits into him reversing time, or time meaning nothing.
Is that a power that he has, or is that a power that they give him? Is it a power?
Yeah. Is it it's not superpowers? So is it? My brain, Sean. We're not smart enough to figure this out.
But that's the thing, Connor, is that in this trailer it says from the visionary director behind the Batman trilogy. If that's the audience they're going for with this, because the Batman trilogy, you can come into that with a surface level knowledge of Batman.
He's a fucking maniac in a batsuit.
This is a lot more deep end than that, I feel.
Yeah, this might be Interstellar and oh my god, what's the Inception? It's Interstellar and Inception added together in terms of what this is going to do to the audience.
But will this do a Memento style thing where it doesn't take place in you don't watch it in order? Do you think that's going to happen?
Surely the end is the first scene will be the last scene. Has to be,
because everything about this is a palindrome, like Tenet. And Tenet is belief or rules or faith or something like that.
Oh, I have the whole explanation for Tenet, where they think that comes from. The official synopsis I have here, if you'd like.
I would love to hear it.
Okay, I'm surely the synopsis will clear this up. We have all these questions, it'll clear it up. So, John David Washington is the new protagonist in Christopher Nolan's original sci-fi action spectacle, Tenet.
Adjectives.
Armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, the protagonist journeys through a twilight world. Twilight, why would you throw that in there? Has a Pats? Come on now. Twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. Not time travel, but inversion. I'm more confused.
I am very more confused. The word Tenet, is important in this. I think inversion's a better title.
It may lie in history, Sean, because I have a clue that somebody has come up with that is so just... Oh, man. Right. The Sator Square, or Rota Square, is a word square containing a 5-word Latin palindrome. It contains 5 words, the central word being tenet, made up of 25 letters, and it reads exactly the same forwards as it does backwards. It can be found across Europe, and has been located on many different buildings, walls, and urban dwellings as early as 79 AD. The most famous version is in France. One likely translation of the square is, the farmer Arepo has as works wields a plough, which makes no sense, but that is somebody doing research. It comes from a Latin palindrome 5-word square.
Okay, so it is a bit wanky.
A bit!
Just a little touch of it there now.
Do you think that the movie will revolve around a certain point of time, or what about this? Halfway through the movie, it starts backwards. It repeats itself backwards in the second half of the story.
But he already... Oh, man. Oh. Maybe.
So it's a palindrome of a movie.
It's probably going to be that. Also, they're missing a trick if the credits don't go from top to bottom in this.
There's so much wank stuff you could do. There's so many possibilities.
But, like, okay. Also, the last line in this trailer is also... It's in the place of where the action movie tagline should be. But It's the most batshit insane sentence when you break it down. It's like... Just because we're doing this now doesn't it mean that it never happened?
Yeah. So you also that's from Robert Pattinson, who's also in this, and he looks really good. He looks the exact same as Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan gave him his hair.
That's true, but also like this is like kind of Bruce Wayne with the suits and such.
That guy, someone should cast him as Batman.
God, he'd be good,
the last scene is the plane crash in the trailer where...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Nothing that extravagant. And then the plane... Well, it's a little bit. But, like... That plane crash apparently was all practical as well. They got a plane, they drove it straight into a building.
Sounds expensive, but also I'm all about it.
It does. Other things I have down here is, of course, prevent World War III. From whom? Who's doing this? For what reason?
Who's the standard bad guy now? Because it used to be the Germans. Then it was the Russians. Sorry, I say the Germans. The Nazis.
No. Distinct difference, yes. True.
Big difference there.
Yeah, the Russians. Who else came in? It was more... No, I thought it was more a vague sense of Eastern Europe at one stage.
That's probably it as well. I think now what it might be is secret society that's actually infiltrated your own ranks.
Yeah, technology.
Technology's the bad guy.
Hydra
and Javier Bardem.
You have Michael Caine is in this. He just had one scene for Michael Caine just to remind us all, lads, it's all going to be okay.
Lads, we're friends.
We're friends. Michael's here. I was kind of like... Okay, if Michael Caine's in this, that's fine. I'm calmer now. Now that I know Big Mickey C is there.
Big Mickey C.
Mickey C. He's also able to communicate with the future. His gun doesn't fire bullets, it catches bullets, Sean.
Surely you'd want a gun that could do both.
This is useless!
Because he's already... Oh, this fucking makes no sense.
Because the bullets have already been shot, Sean.
They've already been shot. But does that mean he can take... Like, surely if it's time inversion, he's sucking his own bullets back into his gun.
So then, does that make people, like, come back to life?
But does he wander into a situation that he's already been to? And then it... But then that's a different situation.
My brain, Sean.
Why did Nolan tackle time travel?
And we thought Inception was bad.
I know. Also, I love a big part of this trailer. Do you know, it doesn't give like a vague release date. The only thing it says is coming to theatres.
Oh, but it still says on their Twitter page that it is coming to theatres on the 17th of July. They have not changed that yet.
But so is the selling point of this movie that
itself,
it will be in the cinema?
Yeah, it's coming to theatres. We covered this, I think it was either last week or the week before, where Christopher Nolan was saying this is still coming out on the 17th of July. And he has not changed that.
Everyone's pointing to it as like, this is a real gauge for Hollywood for the rest of the year. Where if this comes out and does well...
I was going to say, do you think this movie would make a lot of money even if movies were still coming out normal? But it's Christopher Nolan, it's a summer blockbuster, it would make like $1 billion easy.
I was reading up on it. Apparently it needs to make its, to make profit. I think it's between $500 and $600 million it needs to make.
Well, they crashed a plane into a building.
They're expensive. Also,
they don't just fall off.
Rumour has it Christopher Nolan's getting 20% of the first dollar gross.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Alright.
So he wants it to do real well.
How did he organise that deal? Fucking hell.
I guess he wrote and directed it, so I think he has some clout there.
I suppose. I also have the line of, how would you like to die? Old. And then the very next scene is the car crash, but it's in reverse time and the car goes back onto the road.
Yeah. Which, I'm worried that this film is going to be a lot of set pieces and nothing really, that they'll have a cool effect. But what's going to come of that, you know?
I think the movie, I mean, it looks great, just as how it's shot. But that Christopher Nolan, we expect nothing less.
Yeah.
He's an amazing filmmaker. It's just the plot of this, I mean, maybe we're just too dumb to understand. That's completely a possibility here. But watching it, I've seen 2 trailers here. I know less than I did before I even started.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think this movie is a film student's dream, I think. Because it's Christopher Nolan, first of all, and then it's a concept that you really have to work at. Like, I think you have to work to understand this movie. Just based off the one trailer I've seen a couple of times. I must clarify.
Well, to be fair, the trailer is meant to get you more interested in the movie. So, Sean, are you more interested in this movie after the trailer?
I am, actually, but I'm still not going to the cinema to see it in July.
No. I don't think, even if Batman The Dark Knight came out, I'd be like, no, I'll just wait. It'll be fine.
Yeah, even if Endgame was coming out, I'd probably say, might give it a miss for a few weeks.
Just a few weeks. Just maybe until later. Maybe even September.
No,
wait it out.
Yeah, and I do think they're in a place that if, they have the opening weekend and it's doing awful, I think they might try and set up like a hurried pay-per-view service kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that might make sense.
So you still get that theatrical release, and it'll probably be, it'll still probably make decent money on release, but then you get also the audience that does want to see it, but aren't
like a
willing.
box office kind of thing. Like, I mean, big wrestling or boxing and all that, they do box office all the time and pay-per-view.
Exactly,
you could do a pay-per-view on live just for this movie. But the problem is, once it's released once, someone will just take it immediately and put it on the internet.
That's the thing. Now, and look, that's going to happen, but what they need to do in that case is you make it so stupidly easy to just pay for it and watch it that, trying to find a stream is more of a hassle.
Yeah, no, I understand that, yeah, but I mean, people will still, I think...
People are always...
Not saying I would.
Yeah, but people are always going to...
Yeah.
Do it. Like, that's why all the Oscars movies are the most pirated movies, because the submission tape that they send into the Academy, that always leaks and always gets put up online.
Yeah. So the Tenet trailer has come out. Time travel, but not time travel. It's inversion. Everything that's already happened has already happened. Looks like a very, very interesting concept. And I'm just trying to figure out what it's all about. So I would like to watch it just to see if I'm smart enough to figure it out.
That is a good way of putting it, Yeah. Like, use it as a test for your mental fortitude.
Fuck, I failed again.
This is not a watch drunk kind of movie, I don't think.
Oh, imagine watching this drunk or high. What the fuck is going on? Okay, we're going to move on to our next piece of news, Sean, and that is... I mean, I threw this in just to excite you, right? Now, a lot of movies... a lot of places are going back to work, slowly but surely. And one thing that we're all very excited about is the movie business. Slowly, movies are going back to the studio lot. And one movie in particular, Avatar 2. To resume in New Zealand next week. Are we all excited? Avatar 2's back on track. Yes.
Surely a lot of Avatar could be done in, like, a computer.
See, you would think that, but James needs to be down there. Mr. Cameron needs to be there, just to point at things.
Like, I guess everyone keeps 2 meters away from James Cameron anyway.
5 meters. 5 or 6.
Couple of miles. Below the ocean.
No, that's where he gets you.
That's where, then you're in his turf.
You're in his land.
So Avatar is... They've resumed or they will be resuming?
They will be resuming next week. And this is because they are shooting, as we all know, 2, 3, 4 and 5 nearly concurrently. So they got there's a lot of filming yet to be done.
Despite the fact that nearly killed Peter Jackson to do 3 movies like that.
Yeah, but James Cameron, he's like Peter Jackson, they're all 3-hour long movies. We make every Avatar movie 45 minutes. 5 movies.
We make them a short. Less competition at the Oscars, baby.
Nailed it. Imagine Avatar came out as an Oscar short. What's an Oscar short? Under 30?
Yeah, under 30, I think.
Oh man, that would be amazing. I would actually watch them.
That's when I'd watch the Avatar movies, is when they're condensed into half an hour, maybe 24 minutes with ad breaks.
I think in these difficult times, everybody's under a lot of stress. Everybody needs some pick-me-ups. And I found out Avatar will go back shooting, so Avatar 2 is back on track. That really picked me up. I'm like, now I can go about my day in a happy way.
I'm like, now there's a different intangible enemy.
Somebody tweaked that to James Cameron. Now there's a different enemy and it's you, James.
It's you. Thank you for giving... You've now split my focus between pandemic and...
Now, Cameron himself opened up about the pandemic, or the impact of the pandemic on the sequels, and he said, it's putting a major crimp in our stride here, he said. I want to get back to work at Avatar, which right now we're not allowed to do under obviously the laws and rules. So it's all on hold now. He also said that he was optimistic due to the way that New Zealand has handled the virus, which has proven to be yet another trustworthy James Cameron instinct. Another trustworthy James Cameron instinct.
Those famous instincts that he has.
He told us Terminator 5 was amazing.
And he said, and I quote, now this is just an instinct, but...
This is the James Cameron instinct. Everyone knows it.
New Zealand as well. Like, to be fair, they have done really well. But I also don't push it, because what a film production tends to do is that it brings people in from a lot of places and localises them all in one place.
Imagine if the thing that took New Zealand back out of doing
fucking
so well
hell.
was fucking Avatar 2.
Oh my god.
They're one of the leading countries in this whole thing, and everyone's like, wow, they're fucking great. Avatar 2 took them out.
Like, it would be they wouldn't release the movie, would they? If it was their fault that, like, New
Somehow
Zealand
Avatar ruins everything. Everything!
Everything it touches, it turns to shit.
Cameron is shooting more of the live-action part of the sequels, with the extensive post-production largely unaffected by the global health crisis. We've got everybody at the weight of digital and Lightstorm working from home to the extent that is possible, he told Empire. But my work is on the stage, doing the virtual cameras and so on. So I can do a bit of editing, but it's not great for me. I want to be back in there.
He's got Windows Movie Maker on his laptop.
Why are we so mean to James Cameron? He did Terminator 2, in fairness, which is one of the best movies of all time.
It's true. He also did Titanic, which is very good.
Which is very long, correct.
And those are the 2 films he's made. I actually don't hate the first Avatar. I think it doesn't deserve sequels. Well, sorry, it doesn't deserve 4 sequels announced
maybe
years
3.
in advance.
3 would be enough.
Like, even 1. I'd give him 1, but, you know.
10 years later.
Yeah, it was in many ways, it was the length of time was my issue.
If you brought it out in 2012, nobody would have an issue, James. Everybody was very high up on Avatar, but the longer it's gone past, people have been like, that movie it made a lot of money, but I kind of can't even remember what happened.
Avatar directly led to me having a series of headaches because of 3D glasses.
So you actually have like a vendetta against it just as a production.
I'm saying I have a motive.
Yeah, no, a motive to hate it, which I'm happy enough. I'm always glad when you have a motive to hate anything.
That's true, because usually I'm funnier. A passive boy.
Yeah, normally I'm the one that's like, no, that's a bit shit. You're like, well, it's not that bad, but I'm willing to allow this and stoke these fires. Avatar told me it doesn't like your family. So, fucking...
Well, tell Avatar that at least I have decent character development and a plot device that doesn't revolve around unobtainium.
Yeah, I'm taking down these notes. I'll send him a text later on.
Do.
Hey, James, I have a fucking note for you to take down, boy.
New Zealand says hi.
So yeah, the Avatar 2, 3, 4 and 5 back on track. They are going back to do some more filming because everybody can't wait another day. But another movie we all can't wait for, Sean, is a movie we mentioned last week.
Oh, God.
A movie by one Roland Emmerich.
Oh.
Everyone's favourite movie maker.
Consistently makes movies, at the very least.
I was thinking of naming maybe a Roland Emmerich segment for the show. Maybe like roll up, there's news.
Emmerich?
roll up, Roland Emmerich. Something like that, because I feel we're going to be hearing a lot of news about this. Of course, Roland Emmerich is doing a movie called Moonfall, which we discovered last week. The plot of which is that the moon falls out of the sky. Don't ask how, it just fucking happens.
Ask how that isn't the end of the movie, because everyone dies.
Surely that's the end. Nobody can stop that. You also have the fact that Roland Emmerich did Independence Day. He did Godzilla, which both movies that came out in the 90s.
Yep.
He also did Independence Day 2. And this is where he kind of lost. And he did 2012, and he did Day After Tomorrow, and just general destruction movies.
Like almost to a fault, he's done destruction movies.
And so last week we covered the fact that Josh Gad has joined the cast as he is going to be playing a scientist who first discovers that the moon is falling out of its orbit. This leads to an outer space mission where a ragtag team will go to the moon in an attempt to prevent the destruction of Earth.
Sound familiar?
So, according to Lionsgate, a new star has been added to the cast, because roll up, there's more Emmerich news.
Oh my God, I'm actually liking that name.
Thank you. The new cast member is Halle Berry. Oscar winner Halle Berry is going to the moon.
Oh no, Halle Berry.
Which, to be fair, if the moon comes to Earth, that's a short trip.
That is true. That's gonna make space travel a lot more accessible.
A lot more. It takes like an hour and a half to get there now. So the Oscar winner will play a former astronaut who is now a NASA administrator. Her particular importance to the plot comes from a previous space mission, which will somehow be connected to the current impending catastrophe.
She set a time bomb on the moon.
It's somehow connected to the moon, somehow falling out of the sky, and Josh Gad is there somehow. And so you've got Halle Berry, you've got Josh Gad in a ragtag team. We've only got 2 members. How many counts as a team? 5? 6? I can't wait to see who's left.
I would say 5 for a team.
Like 5, and you've got the astronaut and you've got the scientist. What other cliches are left?
Soldier, hothead soldier.
Yeah, true.
Who do you have? We have a scientist, but do we have like a because what kind of science is it as well?
See, it's Roland Emmerich, so it's going to be something bad. What about sexy scientist?
Could be.
I'm trying. Roland Emmerich is the disaster movie version of Michael Bay, so I'm trying to think of along his lines what he would do.
Is there like a rookie kind of role?
Rookie who dies. Rookie who dies is definitely going to be there.
Yeah, and he's going to die a hero.
But there's going to be an older gentleman then as well. Like, you're going to have an elder statesman of the group.
But that's true. But you also need someone to inevitably turn on everyone and go mad.
Oh, yeah.
And that can't be the hothead soldier, because he has to redeem himself and show that he's not a bad guy after all. Okay,
so you've got Halle Berry, who's astronaut. You've got Josh Gad, scientist. You've got Rookie Soldier.
Yeah.
No, you've got Rookie. You've got the soldier who's a hothead.
Yeah.
And then you've got the elder statesman.
Elder statesman, yeah. So
that's a team of 5.
That's our team of 5, and then maybe we can throw in the guy who goes mental, and they have to kill him and never talk about it again.
No, the guy who's like, you know what? I think the moon coming down would be a good idea. I'm with it.
And they just all beat him at once.
He's like throwing up a little bit of rope to try and pull it down. Oh, maybe he's a cowboy.
Oh, he could be a cowboy. Oh, there has to be like a... Actually, one way to save this movie, cast Matthew McConaughey.
Just as Matthew McConaughey.
Just as Matthew McConaughey. He can be the elder statesman, perhaps.
Alright.
We got a moon.
We got a moon. What are we going to do with the moon? Just, alright. We got a moon.
I think I'm just thinking of Interstellar now.
Yeah, you are, yes. Now, Halle Berry was also in John Wick Chapter 3. So she's very up on action movies, but I don't know if they can fight the moon. So I don't know, like, they said to her in this press report, they're like, oh, action star Halle Berry. I don't know if that's going to come in, due to the fact that I don't think you can punch the moon until it stops destroying Earth.
That's fair.
Welcome to Earth!
Welcome to Earth. Is... Like, action can mean a number of things. Like, it can be, you know, she's hanging off the side of a rocket kind of a deal.
True.
So I think there's room there to, like, give everyone a moment to shine. But then...
Yeah.
You get to the moon, and...
On one side, you've got these ragtag group. Other side, moon. I don't know what the stats are on, you know, height and the length of reach and all that stuff, but I think the moon has it.
In terms of mass, yeah.
In terms of mass, yes.
I think in this movie there's going to be like the NASA council don't believe the moon is falling out of the sky, and so
it's, even though it's like on top of their building,
it's like, nah,
about to crush them. It's just a windy day, Hally. Fuck off.
And they're like, no, you can't take a spacecraft up. And so then it's like Fan Four Stick, where they're all sitting around in a circle, and they're like, why don't we just go? And so the ragtag group, they get drunk and they steal a space shuttle, and then they fly up to the moon and fix everything.
And Jamie Bell is playing the muscle. Fuck.
Oh, he could be the rookie.
All there. He's the rookie and he's 35. He's the rookie.
He's a very slow grower.
Or Miles Teller, because he played that 17-year-old even though he was clearly 30.
Why don't we just get the cast of Fan Four Stick back?
Oh my god, ragtag group, get the fantastic. No, Michael B. Jordan's never going to appear. He's never going to do this.
That's true, he's too talented for this.
Yeah.
And we thank him for that.
Again. Also, I found out the name. Remember last week when I was like, Roland Emmerich had a guy who's a second in command who did Geostorm?
Yes.
His name was Dean Devlin. After the episode, I had to look it up because it was annoying me. Dean Devlin co-wrote and co-produced every one of Roland Emmerich's films, and his directorial debut was Geostorm.
Okay, so he just said, Roland, can I have a script you're not using?
Can I have a bad script that we co-wrote together?
Yeah, but just change it a little so no one knows.
So that's more Moonfall news. I read that. I'm really hoping next week we have even more. But
are we going to have to...
There's Emmerich news.
Are we going to have to see this movie now when it comes out?
I'd like to do a review of this movie, yes. Any movie that has the moon falling from the sky, I'm all up with that. Okay,
well, I'll commit to that then now, because this will come out in 2022 and we'll have all flown into the sun by then.
There's no way we'll still be doing this. So it's fine.
We'll have long killed each other by then.
Okay, we're moving on to our next piece of news, and that is more Sony Spider-Man movie news, Sean. Now, it has come out that Sony are developing a whole universe of Sony. They've called it the Sony Pictures Universe of Marvel characters. That is the actual name.
Or
dubbed that name.
Spunk.
Oh, Jesus. It is Spunk. So they recently announced that they were doing a Madame Web, movie, which everyone's kind of like, that's a low-key character. Why would you do anything on that? But now they've organised, they're going to be doing a Spider-Man movie on a character called Jackpot. and that is in development from the Arrowverse creator Mark Guggenheim. Sean, what do you know about Jackpot?
There's not a lot to know about Jackpot, really. She was introduced first in like I think it was a Free Comics Day kind of thing or something, and she was just introduced as a hero with like super strength and stamina, that kind of deal. Then later on in comics, there's another woman admires Jackpot, tracks down who the original Jackpot was, and the original Jackpot is just like, look, I don't want to be a superhero anymore. And so she takes up the mantle, but she's not powered, so she gets mutant growth hormone and like injects herself with like steroids, so she gets like super strength and stamina and mild invulnerability and things like that. But
it's really lucky that she got the same powers.
It really, yeah, you can't control that generally.
No. If you're injected anything just to see what happens, I think it's a pot luck. You could end up with anything.
And so there's an appearance where so now you have this new superhero on the scene with red hair, just like MJ.
What?
And so it's like, oh, is MJ secretly a superhero? And it turns out she's not. It's a lady called...
There's nothing about that woman.
It's a lady called Alana Jobson, I believe.
Okay.
And then she's just like, yeah, I'm a superhero. And she's just a C-list superhero. She's not really involved in a whole lot.
That's because literally I read this and I was like, I've never heard. Obviously I've heard of the word jackpot, but maybe not in this context. I've hit that. What the fuck have I hit? Shit. No, not in this context. I have not heard the word jackpot. So when I find out they're putting this into development, it's always just like, what are they doing? Because they're doing Morbius. They are also trying to plan movies around characters like Nightwatch, Silk, and Madame Web. So Sony are really trying to just drive this hope that they have every Spider-Man related thing, and so they have just free reign to choose like from like 1,000 Spider-Man different characters.
Yeah, which look, I like the person attached to this. Guggenheimer, is that his name?
Yeah, Mark Guggenheim. He's the co-creator of Arrow. The Arrowverse.
Yeah, he has shown that he can do a lot with smaller characters. So to just do that, but with like movie budget instead of, half of that budget spread over 22 episodes, I think that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, and like Arrowverse, we have talked about how that fact that we fall off in regards to that show because there's just so much shit. But like season 2 of Arrow is amazing, and it's very nerdy, and it's not a character you would do on the TV if you were going to pick. This is a character we want people to like, but Arrow that works in the universe that he's created, and I think if you bring that same talent into this, where you have a character that not many people will probably choose, not many people have even heard of, but you make them interesting in your own way, and then you can throw in... Tom Holland is the ace card here. Do you have Tom Holland in any of these spin-offs to try and level up these characters?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you need him until you can set up like a Miles Morales or any of the billions of Spider-Men that exist in the Marvel Universe. Like until you have one of those that people like enough to be like, okay, we will take him but we will accept and welcome him as the mainline Spider-Man now. Like, until that day comes, I think you need Tom Holland in it somewhere. Like, would you have Tom Holland and Miles Morales? We call Tom Holland. Yeah. Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the same universe, or would you leave Miles Morales as kind of like that's another one of your? You only really have 2 ace cards, which are the 2 of them. So would you leave Miles Morales until Tom Holland says, "Okay, I'm going to give up"? Yeah, like it's tough because Miles is now like kind of established in the animated world. So I get you could do what they did in the comics, which is that they existed in separate universes, Peter Parker and Miles Morales. But then...
And you have the Spider-Verse.
You do have the Spider-Verse, so that sets the precedent for there are different universes with different Spider-Men in them. But then if you engineer an event that folds those two universes together, and you just, you keep the bits that you like, which Spider-Man has enough, like, cosmic villains that you could do. You could engineer that. So, like, because I think
the reason, go on.
I think Miles Morales was in the Ultimates universe, and I'm almost positive he's one of the only things that remained after it got folded in because people liked him so much.
Yeah. When you become... People liked him as a character, so they're kind of like, well, we get rid of everything else, but bring him in.
Yeah, exactly.
So in regards to Jackpot, I think why they've gone this route is because, as I said, Jackpot is a female superhero in the Spider-Man world, and I think they've realised that if they're going to make this Spider-Man world, they can't just have all men. So, in the best way possible, try and open it out. So you've got Spider-Gwen, but I don't know if you'd go Spider-Gwen straight away, because they've already done the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and that's kind of confusing, so they've kind of gone for different characters. Would you go for, what's the Black Cat? Is that her name?
Black Cat, yeah, Felicia Hardy.
I think she would be an amazing character if you're going to go that route. But is she a villain though? So she's kind of, we don't want another anti-hero Morbius kind of thing.
That's the thing, and that's exactly what will get levelled at that movie if it gets into production at all. Like, Black Cat is an interesting character, and she's got her own shit going on. But then you have a character like Silk, who is objectively the same as Peter Parker, because, like, they had different upbringings, they have different views, but they were bitten by the exact same spider.
What are the chances?
What are the odds? But see, then you still, like, and then you have that they're not Spider-Men, they're their own character, So that, like, they will get their own fans outside of, oh, that's another universe's Spider-Man, or that's another universe's Gwen Stacy,
If this all works out, they do bring out a Silk, and they bring out a Jackpot, they bring out Spider-Man,
Silver
Morbius,
Sable, or anything like that.
Anything. Is there a scenario here where they have an Avengers-like team-up, where they have 7 or 8 of these people all coming together? Is that the idea that they're going for?
Maybe. I think we're definitely getting a Sinister Six movie at some point.
Then you need a non-Sinister Six, a Super Six.
Yeah, you need Spider Pals, like
Spider Pals, yes. So if you throw but see, Tom Holland as a character has been shown to be very powerful. But if you throw in all these characters like Jackpot, like Silk, like Nightwatch, and Morbius, I suppose, would have to be there because that's Jared Leto, and he's a big name.
Yeah.
And Venom, because he's an anti-hero. So is Venom part of the Sinister Six? I don't know how this is going to work.
Yeah, that's a whole other issue based on how they portrayed Venom in his own movie.
He ate that man's head, Sean. He ate his head.
Canonically chewed a man's brains.
And they cut back to Tom Hardy, and he was chewing. I don't know about that.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if once the Spunka kicks off, like, in full force, that'll be after the contract with Marvel Studios has ended, I imagine. And so, I'm phrasing this. I think if you do want to keep Tom Holland as Spider-Man, Tom Holland's 24 now.
True.
So like, by the time it happens, he could be nearing 30. Like, and then what you could have...
Don't scare me.
I know. That boy will never age. But you could have, 30-year-old Peter Parker, which is usually in the comics about the time that they bring in the 16-year-old Spider-Man again, in some form.
Because nobody wants to read about a 30-year-old Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he has his life sorted out by that point, really. He's usually happily married and whatever.
And MJ is usually like a supermodel, and he's just like a dude who has loads of money, and he's married to a supermodel wife, and he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, like he has everything, and then the stories to give him conflict, like they don't mean as much, because it's just like oh, we know you're creating this to stir up drama. Whereas if it's like motivated by I'm failing school, but also if I don't swing about on webs, people will die. That's and I'm 16. Like that's an interesting avenue to go down for a story, I think.
I definitely think they were also. I remember a while ago they were trying to do a Spider-Verse spin-off featuring all the female characters. So Spider-Woman and Silk and Spider-Gwen were all going to get their own team up, and I think that would be a really cool way of throwing these characters in, say Jackpot or whatever. Throw them into the Spider-Verse, because that universe created Miles Morales, brought him into just modern culture. If you do a Spider-Verse spin-off with all the female characters, that's a great way of introducing all these characters as well in a better way, so you can show them in their absolute best, just animated, and then you move to the live action after that.
Yeah, that's a really good way of doing it, I think. And it's not like they're all getting their own solo movie straight out of the gate, and you're trying to, like in Amazing Spider-Man, you're trying to set up sequels. It's like, just have them exist as characters in like a Spider-Verse style, where like people at this point, people would watch a Peter B. Parker movie, or they'd watch a Spider-Man noir movie, I think. Like, and
oh yeah, because Jake Johnson's amazing.
Yeah,
in that role.
So it's because that people got introduced to those characters. That's why people like them.
And that would be a really good way of even picking off the ones people like and getting rid of the ones people don't like before you put $100 million into a movie. So, like, Spider-Ham, as much as the voice acting's very good, I don't know if he's going to get his own movie.
No,
so
but when they start the Sony streaming
service,
he'll probably get like animated shorts and shit.
But like, it's a way to pick off the ones people like. So even if you do that all-female-led team-up, and it's great, maybe everybody loves Silk and Spider-Woman, but they're not big on Jackpot Spider-Gwen. I don't know what way they would work this out. So then you move forward with Spider-Woman and Silk, and you just kind of maybe even have the other two as side characters, rather than have their own unique storylines and their own movie.
Yeah, like, there's a balance to find with all the characters, and they all need to be balanced at the start, and then you lean into the fan favourites, I think. Sorry, no, I was just going to say, like, the people didn't know the Guardians of the Galaxy before they gave them all time to shine in their own movie, and then put them into the rest of the world and had them interact with everyone.
Yeah, there was no mention of anybody else, because if that had died, they would have just forgotten them completely.
Like the Inhumans.
Yeah. No, we always go back to Guardians, because if the Guardians could do it, literally anything could work.
Exactly.
It just takes the right director and the right writing. So, okay, we're going to move on to something involving writers, and something actually that I think sounds really good. Legally Blonde 3, Sean.
Oh, interesting.
It has found its writers, and I have to say, they've done quite a good job. So, Legally Blonde 3 was confirmed to be in development, I think, like, last year, maybe the year before.
Yeah.
But it's been kind of like, in production, in development, and they have finally hired 2 writers that have signed on to the project, and they are Mindy Kaling and Dan Goor.
Oh, now, Jesus.
Yes. If you don't know these people, Mindy Kaling, of course, she was in The Office, and she's one of probably the best writers in Hollywood at the minute. She's just an incredibly funny and very good actress and writer.
Yeah, like she has the whole gamut of skills.
And then you also have Dan Goor, who is known, I'll list this off, he wrote for The Daily Show and The Late Night with Conan O'Brien. He's a writer and director for Parks and Rec, and the co-creator of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's a pretty good resume.
Yeah, and those aren't just comedies; those are funny fucking shows. Like, and clever funny.
you have these two very funny people coming together to write the story of a movie that I think people would genuinely watch if it's good.
Absolutely. Like, both Legally Blondes are fantastic movies.
First one especially.
But the second one does not... It might not be as good as the first, but it's still like a 90%.
If Legally Blonde is on the TV, you watch it. Like, if it's just on the TV, you're like, sit down now, let's watch this.
Yeah, literally. And it's also a good movie to, like, if there's nothing on, and you're like, what'll we watch? Legally Blonde's always a safe shout.
I love our love for Legally Blonde. It's pretty good. I like when we just pick a random movie from either the early 2000s or like the 90s. We're like, that's good, and I don't know why, it just is.
Yeah, like, that's good, and I won't hear a bad word said against it.
Like Demolition Man.
Like,
it's
Demolition
good, but
Man.
it's a bit weird. But Legally Blonde came out in 2001, Sean.
Jesus.
2001, which is 19 years ago now. So, but now they're bringing out the third one. They've got Mindy Kaling and they've got Dan Goyer. I mean, you've got Reese Witherspoon back in the lead role. That's a triangle of three people who are incredibly talented and incredibly funny. I think it's looking good.
So at the end of the second one, the what's set up is that she's going to run for president.
Yes.
Like, those are two good people to be writing presidential based comedy, I would feel.
Oh no, do you think they won't do that now though? Because, like, of the whole
well,
you know.
The whole you know.
You know.
Look, I mean, it won't come out for a year or two.
Maybe. Yeah.
Anything could happen.
But I just think, I read that and I was like, if I was to get two comedy writers for anything, I think those two would be pretty high up on the list, even individually. But together, they are pretty strong.
Yeah, like I have such high hopes for this movie, and I think it'll deliver as well.
Yeah, so I read that and I was like, fucking hell, that's... Sean, you need to know about this.
And now I do.
This is going to be good. But one thing you need to know about, Sean, is the story we're finishing off this week with. I don't know if you've heard about it. Mm-hmm. There's a little thing called Justus Luig, as they pronounce it.
You use the traditional pronunciation. Thank you.
Justus Lugu, right? And its release, the Snyder Cut, has finally worked. # release the Snyder Cut is going to be released. Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to HBO Max. It was confirmed last week. Finally, after years of speculation and hashtags and petitions, it's finally happening. Sean, there's a lot to get into here. Please, just try and divulge any thoughts you have.
Okay, I fully thought that this cut didn't exist.
Yes.
And now I've been proven wrong, but it still hasn't released, so we'll leave that there.
It's not out till 2021.
I think that's enough time to put together a brand new cut and call it the Snyder Cut.
True. No, they just put up Titanic. Fucking nailed it.
They put up Watchmen is what they do.
They will. I said the wrong tape. Fuck.
Lads. Like, this has to be good now. This has to be the best. This has to be better than Endgame for people to to feel that it lived up to the hype. Because if this is a grand movie, that's not good enough for the internet. No. I don't feel.
I hadn't even thought of that, but that is a very good point. So if everyone doesn't know the news about this, why this is such a big deal, but Zack Snyder, he was director of Batman vs Superman, and he was down to direct Justice League, the DCEU or AU, no EU, and they were driving this team home. They were like, we got our own Avengers. This is the Justice League. We've got Batman. We've got Superman. They're all here. Now he was halfway through production of Justice League. Obviously, Batman vs Superman came out to rapturous applause. Everybody thought nailed it.
A standing ovation.
Standing ovation multiple times. I thought it was the best movie I've ever seen. So I could not wait for Justice League. And so Justice League came out, And but during the production, Zack Snyder, unfortunately, his daughter passed away, so he stepped away from the production. I think it was 3/4 of the way done. Joss Whedon came in, and Joss Whedon had to finish up the movie, so that he did lots of reshoots and just kind of rewrote a few scenes until the movie was finished. The movie came out to, I wouldn't even say middling, I would say less than middling reviews.
Yeah, I would say overwhelmingly negative.
Yeah, where people were like, it's not terrible, but it's just not good.
Yeah.
And so, I'm trying to figure out a way to say it. So people were basically saying Joss Whedon took what was supposedly an amazing cut by Zack Snyder, and he bastardized it. He ruined it. And so people for all this time, since that movie came out, were like, release the Snyder Cut. We need a full cut by Zack Snyder, what his vision was. Joss Whedon came in, he ruined that vision. So Zack Snyder's the only man who knows what he's thinking, which has been shown in Batman vs Superman to be fucking nailed, perfect, straight to the characters, absolutely nailed,
Guns.
Never gone wrong once. And so he did this again. Now originally his cut was going to be wait near the shot 214 minutes long.
What?
He had 214 minutes long was his cut before he edited it down. That's how much they shot. Fucking hours of footage that was cut on that has been on the floor. So there's a lot of footage to choose from that they can throw back into this movie. He had a whole plotline with Cyborg that was in the trailer. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You see, he had a whole other plotline with the Flash and with Aquaman, and so all that stuff in the movie is just Joss Whedon cutting it down to the bare minimum you can get away with. But there's a lot more footage out there somewhere. Zack Snyder's Justice League also had Darkseid at one stage. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, like, the thing is, there needs to be a lot more footage, because what we got on screen, no matter how you edit that, I think that's not entertaining to watch.
No.
So there has to be just another movie that they cut out somewhere.
Do you know how much money this is going to cost to this new project, to kind of fix it up?
$200 million.
Fuck's sake. You always go way over it and make the number sound like shit.
€400.
20 to $30 million, but fucking 200 million. Like, I mean, but $30 million of a movie that's already come out is still a lot of fucking money.
That's true, and that's like, you could make a movie for that much.
I think Deadpool 1 cost $50 million, so 20 to 30 million.
Yeah, didn't Joker cost like 13 or something like that?
Oh Jesus, don't get started.
Joker was madly successful as well.
God, don't talk to me.
Everyone loved it. Universally loved, actually, Joker was.
Like Batman vs Superman.
You think that's better than Joker?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You stand by that?
Stand by it. Standing by it.
Fair enough.
See, Batman vs Superman has the scene in the warehouse.
Oh, it is a good warehouse. But Joker has that scene on the steps.
Fuck off. So today, following a screening of his 2013 masterpiece, last week, following a screening of his 2013 masterpiece, Man of Steel, masterpiece, used very loosely there, on his preferred social media tool.
Hugs a tornado.
Oh no! If only my son had superpowers, he could save me.
And no one will question it.
Nobody. Snyder unveiled his plans that shortly after that announcement, HBO Max took to social media to confirm that the Justice League, Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, would be coming to HBO Max. Now, it's up in the air whether it's going to be one whole movie or it's going to be cut into 4 or 5 separate parts on HBO Max. Shaw, which is worse?
Oh God, that's it. If he cut it as a movie, don't just chop it into 45-minute segments, if that makes sense.
Like Avatar is going to do. Yeah.
But do it the best way, is all I can say.
Oh, Lord. There's so much. So, I'm already sighing, just even thinking about this. Yes, so Zack Snyder, his Justice League. How much footage must he have to there's got to be like 4 hours long in this fucking thing.
Yeah, if 4 hours is like the cut, presumably he's narrowed that down.
Surely a movie gets cut because you take out the things that aren't as good as other scenes. Like, if this was the way, then every movie would be 4 hours long, because every director shoots hours upon hours, and then they get rid of it to make it the most seamless and just mainstream, or streamline it. They streamline it so that it comes across in the best way possible. But normally what happens is why you end up with a 4 hour movie is because the director's like, everything's amazing. But it makes everything worse because everything's so long.
Oh, like Watchmen, yeah.
Who did that?
Zack
Wait a
Snyder?
minute.
I will say, I don't hate Watchmen. I just think it's a bit long. The what is supposedly the definitive edition is a bit too long for me.
It does have those people having sex in the blimp to, what's the song?
Oh, fuck.
Fuck, what song plays when, that's the worst scene ever in any movie.
No, I didn't have a problem with that scene.
I'm all in with that. I watched that with my parents. We all fucking loved it.
How do I Google what that song is without... Is it Hallelujah?
Oh, is it Hallelujah? It might be Hallelujah. Yes.
I think it's Hallelujah. People are shouting at their phones right now listening to this.
Oh man, do you want me to do a Googs? Just to
No,
make
it
sure,
is-
but I think it's Hallelujah.
It is Hallelujah.
Yeah, like, you ever put a sex scene to Hallelujah? No? Well, fucking Zack Snyder has.
Exactly. And did fucking Steven Spielberg ever put a sex scene to Hallelujah? No.
No, Zack Snyder has. Roland Emmerich would do that. To be fair.
Roland Emmerich is working on that right now. It's going. Someone's going to have sex with the moon to Hallelujah.
Moon, yeah.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So, the Justice League coming out, Sean, has led to so many other questions. This Snyder Cut, it's been hashtagged so many fucking times. People are mad about this Snyder Cut. They think it's going to be the best movie ever because Zack Snyder, as we all know, greatest movie maker of all time. We need this Snyder Cut. It can't go wrong. But does this not mean a whole host of other problems in regards to, is there a Justice League 2?
That's
if this is
the
good?
thing. If people love this, like, Affleck's not coming back.
Also, this is coming out in 2021, which is the same year that The Batman is coming out in 2021. Is this a way for Zack Snyder to say, fuck you? Because then you have 2 movies. Well, if this comes out with HBO Max, it's not a cinematic release. But you have 2 properties that both have different Batmen in the DCEU the same year.
That is odd, I'll grant you.
Affleck's not coming back.
Cavill's not coming back.
No, he hates Superman. Well, he loves Superman, but he hates these movies.
Yeah, like, and he's quite happy being The Witcher.
And Jason Momoa is mad about the Zack Snyder Cut, in fairness.
Yeah.
He is tweeting non-stop about it. Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg, is also all about this because, of course, he feels a bit let down by the final
Yeah, he was
cut of the
absolutely
movie.
hard done by in those movies.
Yes, because Cyborg is just useless in that movie. But Cyborg as a character is very interesting. And if they shot it right, it would be a very interesting origin story. But I think that... Go on.
So I was going to say, in the original stages, wasn't Justice League supposed to be a 2-parter?
Yes.
And that it ends with evil Superman?
Yeah, so originally the 2 parts were that Superman, of course, dies in Batman vs Superman because cinematic classic, everybody stand ovation, everybody amazing, right?
Martha.
But Martha, fucking, we all cried. But he, of course, died after his massive arc of a movie and a half, and he was dead. And so...
Stone dead, dead forever.
Dead forever, he's never coming back. Until the very next movie, Justice League, which was meant to be 2 parts, and part 1 was going to end with them bringing Superman back. It was going to be black suit Superman, he's going to have a mullet, and he was going to be evil. And it was so they kind of did that in the movie where he comes back and just beats the shit out of the whole team.
Yeah, but it lasts 5 minutes and has no impact.
Yeah, But the first part was going to end where he was going to come back slightly evil, and then the second part was them bringing him back to the good side. And he was going to have the cool black suit and the mullet, and everybody was all about that. And I think that in the Justice League it's done way worse. But the real thing you have to think about here is it good? Are you willing to sacrifice like this just to watch a two-parter where Henry Cavill comes back as Black Suit Superman with a mullet? Is it worth it?
I think in a better movie it would be.
Okay.
And if that's what it takes to make it a better movie, maybe it's worth it.
And this is from all the footage they've already shot, because there's going to be no reshoots. The most they're going to do is bring people back in just to do voiceovers, but there's going to be no actual reshoots of scenes.
Yeah, and the mustache will still have to be edited out.
Still out, yes.
But I think this is absolutely just a way to sell HBO Max subscriptions, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, you know what? I'm not a cynical boy, but I never even thought of that. But yes, no, does Zack Snyder have some sort of deal with HBO Max is the real question. Maybe.
I think, is he a producer on the Watchmen series?
Oh, he is.
Like that, like I'm sure he talks to many studios at many times. But I do think this is the way. It's like, oh, let's get every DC fan, like every hardcore DC fan who wants to watch it, just get them to sign up to HBO Max.
Along with Justice League 2, this also raises another question I have for you, Sean. That does the Snyder Cut release set a new precedent that every movie that has ever been troubled by development or behind the scenes problems gets a remake, recut by the original directors? Because I have some examples here. What about Rogue One, Sean? Huh? What about Rogue One?
I think Rogue One is fine as it is. I think it's a grand movie.
What about Lord and Miller's solo film? There is a Lord and Miller solo film. They got kicked off it. What's up with that?
I don't think they've filmed enough to make a movie.
What about the original Suicide Squad cut by David Ayer? What if we let him do a movie? Then Suicide Squad could be massive.
Ooh, that's a tough one, actually.
There you go.
I don't know, is the answer to that.
But now we're going to get a whole host of other movies that are half done and recut.
Well, maybe on the counter side, maybe if this is a success, maybe it's used as an example that studios can be like, look, trust the director, and we'll get...
Yeah, but this is kind of a different thing, just in regards that he had to step away because of tragedy, which is fair enough. And Joss Whedon is put in an impossible position here, because imagine you're Joss Whedon at this moment. Obviously bad guy now.
Yeah.
But...
bad guy then.
Bad guy then too. But you're like, well, fuck me then. Like, everyone's like, you're shit. This one's going to be way better.
I think he already got paid, so he doesn't give a shit.
What if this movie's not good?
I don't think it will be.
No.
I think look, that film is weak, and the plot points that we see are weak. But also, like, the portrayal of characters that we see is not good. Like, and I'm talking about Batman.
Yeah, you're talking about Batman.
I don't think more of that is going to fix the problems with Batman.
I think more is always better. Give me more.
I don't think that's what you want.
I do. I do want more. I want more of that. Ben Affleck's Batman is the best part of Batman vs Superman, and so he definitely didn't phone it in this movie, and I'm really thinking he's nailed it.
It's all a bit...
Oh my god, I thought of another one.
What?
Josh Trank's Fantastic Four.
Now
Get that man back into the fucking booth.
I would want to see that, actually. So, release the Trank cut?
Release the Trank cut, yes. Release the Trank cut. Let's get that hashtag going.
Let's hashtag that shit.
I have, to be honest with you, I have no interest in watching the Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah, but we have to.
Now, here's the thing, but there's people who are mad about this, and they love the fact that this movie's coming out. And I'm not going to shit on the fact that they're excited about it. Personally, I have no excitement for this movie because Justice League is so out of my consciousness that it happened, and then I tried to immediately forget it, and just forget the whole DCEU, because Robert Pattinson's already come in to replace it anyway.
Yes. If you're Zack Snyder, he's risking a lot personally on this cut, I think. That it needs to be good or people won't trust his judgment, I suppose.
Batman vs Superman?
Universally loved.
Sorry, no, you're right. Once again, universally loved. That's a showing of how perfect his usual thoughts are.
And so his thoughts on this movie are clearly unbiased.
See, this is fascinating to me, because if Batman vs Superman was an amazing movie, I would completely understand the fact that he got taken off Justice League and everyone's like, oh man, I really want to see that cut. But Batman vs Superman is universally split down the middle. You either love it or you hate it, which I think, people can like it, but
if you're still thinking about it, you're one or the other.
Oh, Sean, please don't make me go back to watch it. But even it wasn't universally loved, so I don't understand why this is such a strong stance that people have taken.
Yeah, I think it's because Justice League was such a universally disliked movie that they're just look, anything will be better than this.
It has to be better. Another cut has to be better.
They just want a good cut of Justice League, I think.
I don't think that cut exists. I think there's probably a cut that's better than the one we got. But
yeah,
I don't think it's a cut that's going to be amazing.
No, I don't think we're going to get the definitive ever to be made Justice League movie here.
Right, Zack Snyder, you're back. $30 million, remake Justice League. We're getting it again, lads. Everyone strap in.
You've got a year.
Wait. Ben Affleck's like, fuck. I was out.
I was free.
Dickheads. So, Sean, I think that's it for Movie Mondays this week.
What a week of actual news.
Actual news.
Shall I take us out, Connor?
Please, take us out.
Thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Movie Mondays. We'll be back on Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, Friday with Hero Zero, and next Monday with another episode of Movie Mondays. Big thank you, as always, to every single damn one of our patrons.
Oh, fucking hell. That was very aggressive.
Sorry, is there something wrong with my presentation?
Every fucking damn one. Fuck you. Sorry, actually.
Sorry. Do you want to try and hazard a guess at saying the URL of our Patreon?
Oh boys, okay, right. Patreon.com/Heroes for Here podcast.
He fucking did it in one and all.
Yes!
Well done, Connor.
Fucking nailed it.
Big thank you to everyone who supports us over there, including Alexander Williams, Ciara Lawler, David Clarke, Ed Ball, Joe Burney, Ray Ging, Roisin Hally and Ryan Evanson. You are all amazing. Thank you so much for continuing to support the show. It really means a lot. As we mentioned up top, we did our Patreon exclusive Lazarus Pit or PELP episode, which is where we look back at one movie from the past, usually comic book / nerdy related, and we just have a chat about it and what we thought of it. This month's episode was The Phantom Menace, so any Star Wars fans that might be of interest to you, we absolutely align with what you think of that movie.
Whatever it is you think specifically, we nailed it.
We just talk in vague sentences about it.
It's a movie. And it came out.
The pixels.
And there's actors. Pixels were there. I remember the pixels.
I saw all the pixels. Right. We're also on all of the social medias, or you can email us here'sfire_outlook.com. The best way you can help out the show is by telling one human being that we exist.
Just a one.
Or liking and reviewing us on iTunes. But I think that's about it.
I think you've nailed it, Sean.
Thanks a million, Connor.
So I've got it all.
I've been Sean.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.